Hello, this is Skylit Lake reading When the Night Falls, the Mobs Rise by Ghost Girl Anna. Chapter 9. That Means We Evil Then. Monoma enters the meeting room grinning like a Cheshire cat, Hitoshi on his heels and Kendo by his side, ready to jump into action if he says a word out of line. Is it me, or has this entire building undergone a redecoration? I swear there's this new mixed flair to your operation. Katsuki and Deku glares at the dramatic blonde from their dual position at the head of the table. Deku gives him a manic smile of his own as he explains, "From here on out, our gang will be called Diner Deku. Since our enemies know that we are each other's weakness, there's no point in hiding it." "Oh, you're getting married?" Monoma mock-coos. "We would if it was legal in Japan." Katsuki growls at him, and Monoma scoffs unimpressed. "As if we ever do anything legal in our line of work." "Are you and Hitoshi married?" Katsuki snidely retorts, and Monoma huffs as the purple-haired man looks away. "No, but they act like an old married couple most of the time," Kendo happily replies in his stead. Both looked offended at the words, and Katsuki snorts. Lucky enough, the line of conversation is interrupted when Tomura walks through the door, Darby by his side. The tattooed man spots Kendo in the room and grins. "Shit, Ami's gonna be upset that she missed out on the opportunity to officially meet you. She has a thing for girls with wicked talents." "I have a feeling by the amount of meetings we've been having in the last month, she'll likely get the chance in the future," Kendo responds with a shrug of her shoulders, and Darby chuckles as he lounges back against the wall behind the chair that Tomura has seated himself in. "Are we waiting for anyone else?" Monoma asks when the doors remain open and Deku and Tomura share a look before the brunette nods. The last attendee takes the next moment to make his appearance, strutting through the door with his own second hand at his heel. The man dressed in white bows politely at everyone in the room on entry, and so does Chisaki as he greets them. Monoma gasps in outrage when Chisaki pulls up a chair at the table. "What the fuck is going on here?" he yells, standing up from his seat abruptly. Deku laces his hands together on the table. "Chisaki Kai, Shigaraki Tomura, and I share parentage on our deadbeat father's side. How is your daddy issues a problem of mine?" The pale blonde snaps back, and Deku gives a dark look. "Because he is the mayor of this city and the lord of the underground, and we've had enough of him, so we're planning on overthrowing him." Monoma raises an intrigued but disturbed brow at him, but ultimately sits back down. "Are you trying to put me out of business? I make a living off stealing from his crooked underlings." "That's why we're offering you a new deal," Tomura chimes in, and Chisaki sits up straight. "Instead of random crooks lower down the food chain, we'll make targeted attacks. Start attacking people in his pockets, enough to start taking down all of which he builds himself on. If we take away the people that he stands on to hold onto his power, he'll have nothing left." "Now I understand what you bring to the table. You have all the insider information," Monoma huffs, and Deku grins. He also has context with other powerful figures that would be happy to help us set this city straight again. "Then we'll need to recruit anyone we can to fund and follow us," he says matter-of-factly, and Katsuki grins proudly at the brunette as Deku nods. "In this case, we've already started. Tomura has contacts that lead to Earphone Jack and the Hitman duo. The older man nods in the confirmation, and Monoma looks impressed. I have contacts within the seedier part of town, and Bakugo has contacts that lead to influences and intelligence contacts. How did you manage those? Monoma asks the blonde, and Katsuki grins proudly. Mina and Denki have multiple uses. Deku doesn't mention his contact within the police. Since the man helped them out with Eri, he doesn't want him getting involved in this. The next part was clear. Each would need to talk to their contacts and update them on the situation, making sure where their loyalties lie and clear it up if deemed necessary. So, who'll succeed him when all is said and done? Monoma then asks the old-fated question as they deem the meeting to an end. All three brothers share a look and grin. Us, of course. Many months of preparation later. Just as they'd done before, they started from bottom and worked their way up, each still conquering their parts of the city, while Monoma targeted all for one's peoples, one at a time. The targets he took out funded the operation alongside the influential duo Yamomo and Ayuma. The two had started cooperating with Earphone Jack and the intelligence duo that is Shoji and Koda. It made getting detailed information that much easier and more precise, having gone through 2 research methods. All for One is holding his annual banquet on Saturday. All of his investors and loyal men will be attending, as they usually do, for their annual rounds of licking the mayor's feet for his favor and goodwill. I have advised others already, and they have agreed to attend. Deku, you at the very least should be seen present with them. It will make it publicly clear that you are official players. Ayoma updates them in his usually overly accentuated French accent as he stands tall in their office. Deku is sitting on the chair and Katsuki leaning against the desk. They have 2 desks in the office, but Katsuki always preferred to copy Deku's space rather than having his own. He also prefers to nag and tidy after the green net instead of only keeping his own desk creaky clean. What are Darby and Kurono doing? Katsuki asks the blonde, and he consults his phone to answer. Kurono being Kai's assistant, he is also versatile in all his abilities to serve the man. They will be in the area in case of backup. It's not a bad idea to have some members on hand in case it goes south. This will be the first time you 3 show your faces out in public as a unit since starting to cut down on his business. Ayoma informs them further, and Katsuki hums in thought. Then I'll take Shoto and Mina with me. We should maybe arrange with the others to have some members around the perimeter. Deku thinks out loud, but his blonde partner shoots that down immediately. I'm not losing sight of you, nerd. Katsuki huffs, and Deku sighs. Ayoma smiles at the interaction. Just remember that you'll be patted down on entry, so if you want to take weapons with you, they will have to be hidden well in your body. To visit father, dearest? The only weapon I need is my brain and my smile. Deku smirks, and Ayoma laughs. Tresemont. Katsuki rolls his eyes at the flattery, and the other blonde makes a polite exit. Yamomo took care of your attire. I hope you find it to your liking. Deku thanks him genuinely and politely before the door closes and Katsuki scoffs. A new suit? Deku pushes his chair away from the desk to see him better and shrugs. Appearances like this matter. Besides, the suit is part of a collection. Katsuki rolls his eyes. Let me guess. Your brothers are wearing the other 2? Deku grins at that before standing and walking over to the blonde. If you're feeling jealous, Kachan, I did order something special for you. He coos, and Katsuki scowls as he pulls Izuku in closer against him. That tone promises nothing good. Mina and Ochako watched over me the entire time I designed it. Izuku tries to reassure him, and it turns the scowl into a pout. I could have helped too. Heck, years under the hag's nagging, I would think I learned some fucking shit. Izuku smiles at him and gives him a peck. You'll like it, Izuku promises, and Katsuki looks at him, doubtful, but pulls him in for a kiss regardless. The night of the party was all it promised to be, as it was in full swing when the trio arrived. Tomura has his hands in his trouser pockets. Kai straightened the cuffs of his white gloves, and Izuku straightened out his tie that Katsuki had tied for him. They entered the grand room side by side with matching grins as the host of the party stopped mid-conversation to look at his newly arrived guests. Naturally, the mayor didn't let any of his annoyance and irritation show, lest anyone in the crowd think that the new arrivals are anyone important to approach. Fucking bastard, Katsuki scoffs as he looks down through his binoculars at the party. He arrived with his own trio on a nearby roof that was scouted to be the best viewpoint for the party. The nerd looked smoking hot from where he was watching over the party, and he'll never enjoy admitting it after all the fuss he put up. But his nerd does have an eye for practical gear. The suit that Deku commissioned for him was comfy as fuck, and useful too. Entirely black with only a couple of accents of color on his hood and an X on his chest. All in orange, of course, his signature color. Shoto and Mina had similar gear in their own colors. It was when he saw Shoto put his gear on like a second nature that Katsuki understood. All of Deku's team had this gear previously. Deku just commissioned Katsuki's team to fit the uniform. That realization made him grin with pride. You can all at your boyfriend later, boss. Darby spotted snipers posting themselves around the perimeter. Shoto informs him in an even tone, and Katsuki clicks his tongue that he got caught in his thoughts of the nerd. It would seem the mayor has his own security team in place, Mina comments as Shoto is being relayed further info by his brothers through their connected comms. As Deku's right-hand man, he is in charge of communication between Tomura's second and Kai's. The last time those three were in a building together owned by the mayor, a massacre took place, Katsuki reminds her, and she winces as she nods in understanding. Katsuki's eyes don't leave his partner as the party moves on, or as Mina sets up her own gear beside him to cover any unwanted arrivals. As predicted, the mayor kept his eyes on all three of them without acknowledging either one of them. Yet it was clear by how his men were scrambling behind the scenes that he was clearly caught off guard by the united arrival. The brothers took it in stride as Deku animatedly talked to politicians and other guests, making some connections. Kai made his own rounds since he actually knew some people personally, while Tomura kept to himself, hiding against the wall as he watched the crowd instead. Katsuki followed Deku's line of attention when he spotted a pair of guests that clearly were undercover party crashers. It seemed all the players on board were making their intentions known. Darby had reached out to them after the massacre, but until now the cooperation hadn't been confirmed. Their presence at the party is their answer. Just like Katsuki knows that Yomomo and Aoyama's trusted intelligence team is on the scene as they should be to do what they do best. It's really all coming together, huh? Mina comments under her breath, and Katsuki grins. This is only the fucking start. And it seems the mayor wants to halt anything before it even starts. Shoto remarks as he points to a nearby rooftop where a fucker is making his way closer to their position. Mina clicks her tongue. That must be one of his snipers. They've likely been ordered to take them out at any convenient point. Having guests snipe down at his party doesn't seem very settling. Shoto comments, and she shrugs, sending one more side-eyed sniper picking his roof and settling down. He's likely gonna play it off as a gang spat. Katsuki scoffs, not sparing another glance at the extra and keeping his eyes on his nerd. As if I'd let anyone get away with shooting Deku. Shoto groans as Mina giggles. Katsuki follows the party through Deku's steps, recognizing faces and connecting the names from the file they were given by the intelligence and Kai's own former connections. His partner is very clever in who he interacts with, only daring to approach those who are truly in support of the mayor, to spread seeds of doubt in his carefully constructed structure of power. Each of the brothers have their own missions tonight. While Deku is spreading seeds of doubt and chaos, Kai is simply pretending that he isn't at odds with his former partner, greeting all his own connections, subtly letting them know the tides have changed. Tomura's is simple. He is in charge of watching the crowd and noting the ones that showed up to the party because it was expected of them, or because they enjoyed being there. The ones that approached the mayor, and the ones that fought to hide their snarl at the mere presence of him. The political world is never pretty, but many don't get to choose to agree with all for one. They simply do what they are told, after the likely threat or two. The question is how many are willing to do something about it. Katsuki spots as Deku makes eye contact with Kai across the room. Something is exchanged between them through that line alone. Mina spots it too. Something's going on, she voices out loud to Shoto, who already got an ear against his comm device. The mayor's making a speech. He's asking everyone to gather around the tables. Shoto relays what he's been told. Katsuki curses as he looks around to see what the old bastard is playing at. He's trying to round them up into an easy shot, he mutters when he figures it out and leans back. Shoto understands immediately and relays it back. Darby is heading for the snipers pointed at Tomura, so are Kai's men. Shoto informs them, and Mina moves the next second, but Katsuki halts as Deku's eyes seem to find his. In his eyes, he knows. His nerd is fully aware and has a plan. Dramatic fucker. Katsuki mutters lovingly under his breath, but does not second-guess his nerd. Deku's got a plan. We'll wait for his signal, but we'll post ourselves right behind the bastards. Katsuki orders, and while Mina looks like she wasn't to object, Deku's second only rolls his eyes. It doesn't take much waiting on their end as the crowd shifts to uncover the three brothers, standing tall and proud, fully in the line of sight of the snipers, ready to take them down. The crowd raises their glass in salute to whatever the mayor just said as the brothers each take a step instead, bowing their heads to each other in a silent signal before each turn to look their own ways up in the distance. Kai spots it the moment that Deku makes eye contact with the extra. "That's our signal," he orders the other two as they stand up to make their move, crossing the rooftops behind the extra that he thinks he can point a sniper at his partner and not suffer the consequences. That thinks that Deku is stupid enough to come without any backup or lookout to protect him. The fucker didn't even bother to check his surroundings. They move in quick succession and precise moves, landing right behind him. "Target spotted," the fucker tells someone through his comms. Katsuki clicks the safety of his handgun, the one Eric decorated for him, and points it right against the back of the extra's head. The fucker tenses immediately. First smart thing he's done all night, and Katsuki sees Deku laugh, wink into the lens from afar, grinning as if he knows who he's looking at. In the distance, 2 other shots ring through the night in succession. With a smile, Katsuki pulls the trigger. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a kudos for Ghost Girl Anna for this lovely series. And what a lovely series it has been, going from introduction from all the way in chapter 1 to 9 chapters in. And we finally see All For One. Well, we don't see it, we get it hinted at that All For One is done business. No more doing anything. He's out of the picture now. Well, yeah. I mean, I think the last part got confusing, but to be fair, Ghost Girl Anna was on time crunch because on the note previous chapter, she did say she was writing this after holiday, so she was probably really tired and trying to get through things done. But either way, it's a lovely series. Please give kudos to them, and the compilation. The compilation of all 9 chapters will be out during my break, so that all of you can enjoy something while I'm gone. Anyway, bye!